Good evening, everyone. Joe Hockey calls it his Have a Go budget, an economic plan headlined by an ambitious small business and job stimulus package designed to fire up the economy and just maybe boost the coalition's popularity. There's childcare and pension reform, but tradies and small companies are the big winners, cashing in on new tax breaks. It's certainly a very different budget to the one we were digesting just 1 year ago. Lane Calcutt begins our coverage.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the bill for the 2015 budget now be read a second time.
Joe Hockey's second budget, one that could save his bacon after last year's disaster.
This budget, Madam Speaker, is the next step in our economic plan.
It is, he says, a budget right for the times to create jobs and growth, driven by what he calls the economic engine room, small business, boosted by what's essentially a stimulus package, delivering $5 billion in tax relief. And effective immediately, any business with an annual turnover of less than $2 million will be able to claim a tax deduction for goods up to $20,000.
If you're a tradie, it might be new tools or a computer for the home office, cars and vans, kitchens or machinery.
More than 2 million businesses will get a 1.5% tax cut, falling from 30% to 28.5%. For smaller, unincorporated businesses like tradies, there's a 5% tax discount up to $1,000. And the FBT on employer-supplied mobile phones, laptops and tablets will be scrapped.
We are focusing on giving Australian small business the chance to have a go.
There's money to stimulate growth in Northern Australia, a $5 billion fund to provide concessional loans to build ports, power and pipelines.
All this requires savings and/or revenue, and it'll come in part by a crackdown on multinationals not paying taxes, set to raise billions of dollars.
Limiting the FBT on meal and entertainment expenses to $5,000 a year will save almost $300 million. Stricter controls on foreign investment will raise $735 million. Cracking down on fly-in, fly-out workers who claim a remote living rebate will save $325 million. And for the first time, those in Australia on working holidays will pay tax from the first dollar earned, raising $500 million.
This is not the end of the process.
Despite losing $90 billion worth of tax revenue, largely due to a collapse in the iron ore market, the budget deficit will be lower than forecast at $35 billion. Joe Hockey's charting a slow and steady path towards surplus. Will be $26 billion in the red in 2016, $14 billion the year after, then just a $7 billion deficit in 2018-19. Overall, our national debt comes in at $384 billion. It's forecast to continue climbing, reaching $418 billion in 4 years. Unemployment has jumped to 6.5%, but that too is expected to improve, falling 0.25% each year to 5.75 in 2018-19. Economic growth has slowed down to 2.75% next year, but expected to rise back above 3 the year after.
Our economic plan is working and things are getting better.
The already announced big ticket spends have been confirmed. $3.5 billion for childcare reform aimed at getting parents back into the workforce. $1.2 billion added in new money for national security, fighting terrorists at home and abroad. The age pension remains the biggest expenditure in the budget at $44 billion a year, though tightening pension eligibility from 2017, impacting older Australians with high levels of assets, will save $2.4 billion.
Madam Speaker, this budget is responsible, measured and fair. I truly believe in my heart that our nation's best days are ahead of us. So now is the time for all Australians to get out there and have a go.
Lane Calcutt, 9 News.